Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be going over my Indiana Pacers mock offseason after going ahead and losing in the NBA Finals. Tough loss for the Pacers. I mean, I think any Game 7 in the NBA Finals is a tough loss, but it's even tougher when you lose one of your best players. I think Halliburton and Pascal Siakam are very close, but I think your biggest impact player, Tyrese Halliburton, you lose him in the game, but not just in the game, but most likely the entire season next year. That's the thing that hurts the most of the Game 7 losses, is knowing that next season, you lose your star player, and that's going to be very tough for the Pacers next year. I think there's a lot of questions of what comes next. You've got a big free agent in Miles Turner, who's been with the franchise his whole career. You might be looking to add in another point guard next season with losing Halliburton. You've got a couple of big free agents at the center position outside of Turner. So there's going to be a lot of decisions to make. I want to start off with the point guard position. I think with the Pacers, replace Halliburton through an internal option. I think TJ McConnell should take over that point guard spot. I think he has showed he's a starting point guard with most teams in the NBA. Keep Nembhard at the 2 and have him become more of a scorer next season with Halliburton being out. You've got Nesmith, Siakam, and I think you need to re-sign Miles Turner now for sure. You need to before. I wonder if Miles Turner, if losing Halliburton changes his mind at all. I don't think so. I think he still re-signs with Indiana. But I think have McConnell take over at that starting point guard position next to Nembhard, Siakam, Nesmith, and Turner. But then off the bench, this is the point guard I want to talk about. Because I think off the bench, if you lose McConnell, you're going to lose McConnell as the backup point guard if he takes over as a starter. So you need to sign a backup. And I think a guy that could fit as the perfect fit coming off the bench as the new backup point guard could be Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, who last year played 75 games, averaging 13 points per game, 5 assists per game, and 3 rebounds per game, playing for the Nets, Warriors, and Pistons. And played pretty good in the postseason this year as well. For the Pistons, averaged 13 points per game, 4 assists per game, and almost 3 rebounds per game, and 1 steal per game in their 6-game series against the Knicks. He shot 48% from 3 in the series, shooting almost 50% from the floor. So I think Dennis Schroeder could be a really good addition for the Pacers to replace TJ McConnell as that backup, and then you see McConnell become the starter and Schroeder become the backup. And then I think there are some other decisions that you need to make. Tony Bradley is a guy that they picked up late season. He played 14 games with them. He has a $1.6 million team option. I think he played well enough in the end of the season and also the postseason to have that $1.6 million team option accepted. In his 14 regular season games, he averaged 4.4 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and almost 1 block per game, and only 8 minutes per game. In the postseason, he didn't play as much, but at times, he did provide some sparks. In 11 games in the postseason, he averaged almost 2 points per game, and almost 2 rebounds per game. So, but like I said, I think he played well enough to get that option accepted and maybe become the third the third center on the roster. And the reason I said third is I think you need to re-sign someone who did have a torn Achilles this year. It's not Tyrese Halliburton. They had a couple of players that had three players tore their Achilles for the Pacers this year. And there are 2 big men that went down early, James Wiseman and Isaiah Jackson. And I think Isaiah Jackson is someone you want to re-sign. He went down really early, but this is a guy that was a first-round pick for the Pacers a couple years ago. And now he's a free agent. But he's still 23 years old. And, this season through 5 games wasn't playing bad. 5 games, 1 start, was averaging 17 minutes per game and shot 61% from the floor this year, averaging 7 points per game and 6 rebounds per game with 1 assist per game and almost 2 blocks per game in those 16 minutes per game. So he's a restricted free agent. I don't know how many teams are going to be going after him, knowing he is coming off an Achilles tear, so that might make him a little bit cheaper. So for the Pacers, I think you'd want to match any offer that is thrown to Isaiah Jackson and re-sign him after the season he was having before the injury. Keep in mind, the 2023-24 season, he averaged 7 points per game, 4 rebounds per game in 59 games. So the two previous seasons, in the 2023-24 season, the 2022-23 season for the Pacers, he was a really nice player off the bench for the Pacers. So I would re-sign. I think if you're the Pacers, you want to re-sign Jackson. I think a guy like Dennis Schroeder, if the Pacers are going to start McConnell next year, and then bring back Tony Bradley, bring back Turner, let Bryant walk if you're bringing back Bradley and Jackson, and things should still be good enough for this Pacers team where they're a playoff team. I think if Nembhard and Siakam, Nesmith, Turner, McConnell take bigger roles next season, with Halliburton going down, and then you add in Dennis Schroeder, you have Isaiah Jackson back. I think another guy that would probably have to take a bigger role next season is Ben Majorin as well. He'd have to step up more without Halliburton. So if guys can step up more without Halliburton, and you add in pieces like bringing back Isaiah Jackson and getting in Dennis Schroeder, I think the Pacers are still a playoff team. They were the 4 seed in the NBA, they were the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference last season. I think they fall down to probably the 7 or 8 seed. If they do what I said, bring back Turner, add in Schroeder, start McConnell, bring back Jackson, I think they're good enough to be a 7 or 8 seed, but then lose in the first round. I don't think they would go too far. But I still think they're talented enough to be a playoff team even without Halliburton, but a playoff team that loses in the first round. I think that's how much value Halliburton brings to this team. They go to the NBA Finals with him. I think without him, they're probably a good team in the regular season that makes it to the playoffs, but loses in the first round. Let me know your thoughts on the offseason, my mock offseason for the Indiana Pacers in the comment section, and peace out.